I just want to say I was honestly disgusted by the comments that Cathy made. But at the same time, I'm very appreciative that we have people like PHEE in our committee of our Players Association representing us, because that's what we're going to have to continue to make the push to stand on what we believe in. And I'm grateful to have those type of people be able to continue to speak up for us. And I'm gonna ride with PHEE always, because she knows, obviously she's a business girly and she has her own stuff going on. But moving forward, we got to continue to stand on business as we talk about this CBA negotiation.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Facilitate the Culture. Today I want to talk about some very quick topics. All right, I want to talk about the WNBA playoffs. Right, I made my pre-playoff predictions early into the end of the postseason. I want to talk about, really today, I want to talk about Napheesa Collier. Okay, MVP, that's still my MVP, okay? I don't care. I don't care. I love Asia. Alright? But PHEE is somebody for the last 12 months who has been showing me, you know, some things. I'm gonna critique her a little bit too. I'm gonna critique her game in this playoffs. I'm gonna critique Minnesota in general in the playoffs. Alright, I want to talk about the injuries in the WNBA. I want to talk about the refereeing, the officiating in the WNBA. And, you know, I want to come on here sooner, but I also wanted to wait, right? I wanted to wait until the finals, until we seen, you know, who made it to the finals, and just to build up, right? So that I have more to discuss. I think the last time I left y'all off, I was talking about, you know, Seattle. And I was actually surprised that Seattle made it to the playoffs, right, with all of what's going on with them. But I think that they wanted to prove to themselves that they can make it to the playoffs, which, you know, kudos to them. I think the Sparks, like I said prior, the Sparks, they can be good. They can build on that team. Think they need some. Think they might need to make maybe one or two adjustments as far as trades or off-season pickups. What else I want to talk about? I want to talk about Indiana Fever, first of all. Shout out to Indiana Fever. But let's get into it. So the playoffs, right? I think my picks were, I had Minnesota winning it all. Right? And in the playoffs, you can't really ever, different players play different in playoffs. Different teams play different in playoffs, right? Some teams are built for the moment and some teams aren't. Right? And I think that this playoffs proved that. Right? You can't never say who is going to make it. Right? When there's a lot of great teams. I've already said there's a lot of great teams. Right? New York Liberty, a lot of injuries. I mean, even Minnesota, when PHEE went down, Dejanay went down. But when PHEE went down and then she came back, like, you're talking about at the end of the season. You don't want to see injuries at the end of the season when you're getting ready for the playoffs and, you know, your teams have to find that end of the season chemistry going into the playoffs. So when something happens, like an injury like PHEE when she hurt her ankle, or even Dejanay, same situation, it hurts the team because you don't get the rotations that you're getting in the playoffs, right? Maybe not even the conditioning, especially when you're talking about a lower body injury, which means that you ain't getting out there running like you were, right? And that, I'm going to tell you right now, that WNBA pace is fast pace, all right? So, you know, we've seen the effects of that. But I don't think that's the only thing, right? I think that, like I said about Phoenix, like I see a lot of people talking about, oh, everybody, like I seen Satu, oh, people counted us out. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think anybody counted you guys out. What I think it is, like me, this team, I already said this. You can go back 2 episodes. That Phoenix team is stacked. I don't know if Phoenix got a lot of airplay this season, but I do know that team was stacked. Right? I didn't get to see a lot of games, and I'll say it again, I don't have cable. So whenever I watch the games, I'm either out somewhere watching the game or I'm watching a replay of the game. And Phoenix wasn't a team that I've seen many games of. But when I looked at that roster, I said, AT, Ka, Satu, your big 3. Then you go and get DeWanna Bonner. Right? So, one, I will say that I don't think people were counting you out. Like I told my friend, she works over there in Phoenix. I said, I don't know if y'all got it this year, but y'all gonna be really good. Y'all gonna get y'all one for sure. Right? It's just putting a team together in the first season after all the changes that they made last season and expecting them to win. Right? It's hard to do. That doesn't mean people don't think that you can win. It just means that people think that you probably need some more time to, establish your team. And that's okay. But counting you out? No. Who was counted out? Indiana was a team that people counted out. Right? Caitlin Clark went down. Sophie Cunningham went down. Sydney Colson went down. Who else went down? I think somebody else went down on that team. Right? And then Kelsey, I feel like Indiana fans really can't stand you guys. Really can't. But I feel like you guys are cursing your players. And I could be, I'm just talking trash. I'm trolling. But all of those injuries, right? But for that team to step on the floor day in and day out and make it to the moment that they made it to tonight, that's why I didn't really want to do an episode. Because I wanted to see who was going to win that game. I remember a couple games back, my homie's like, well, I'm like, what you think? Who you think gonna win? Man, that Phoenix Lynx series, that can go either way. But Ace is gone, man. He said, Indiana ain't winning another game. I was like, oh, okay. Mind you, I think, I'm thinking the Aces are gonna win, but I'm not thinking that they're just going out. Indiana's not gonna win another game. Right? And arguably today, if Kelsey Mitchell didn't go out in the third quarter, ain't no telling. She had 15 points. Right? Might have started cooking. Then you got Odyssey Sim, who I don't understand why she can't keep a job in the league, because Odyssey Sim, every time she gets a chance, does what she's supposed to do. Now, if you're looking for a number 1 point guard, right? Maybe she's not that. Maybe she is that. She could be that. But you guys aren't giving her the opportunities. Right? And we know she's going to work her ass off. So I'm happy that she got picked up and did her thing tonight. She popped off. Especially when Kelsey went down. She was the backbone when Kelsey went down. Aaliyah Boston did her thing all series. Right? So, going into this finals, I'm thinking, who's going to win? To me, Phoenix is going to win. Right? But then when I think about, personnel and matchups, neither team, like when you talk about the last 3 teams, not including Minnesota, right? Indiana, Aces, Phoenix. None of those teams have a lot of depth on their team. When you look at that bench, you looking at that bench like 1. Once you go after that 1, it gets kind of tricky. All right? So, when it comes to the Aces Phoenix matchup, it was gonna, like, even when you put Indiana in the mix, when it comes to Phoenix, who's gonna match up with the big, right? Who does Phoenix have that could have stopped Aaliyah Boston or Asia Wilson? I'm not sure that they have anybody that can stop them. The only thing with the Aces, and my problem with the Aces, is that, I've said this earlier in the season, when they were losing all those games, they relied too much on A'ja Wilson, right? Pick and roll, get it to her some way on the post if it's available, right? But other people aren't making things happen. There's not enough ball movement happening for me. All right, Jackie Young gonna do her thing. Jackie Young, been playing phenomenally. And I said this earlier in the season when everybody was criticizing and critiquing Jackie Young, like, oh, she's inconsistent. Like I said before, when you had Kelsey Plum on the team with you, all right, and you guys are sharing those, sharing that role, that number two role. Who's going to be number 2, number 3? It's going to be flip-floppy, inconsistent. So now you're seeing Jackie Young, J-Yo, go crazy. So shout out to Jackie. But like I said, who's going to match up? Like when we talk about Phoenix, Aces matchup. Y'all could leave y'all prediction. Matter of fact, while you at it right now, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all of that. My thing is my X factor. I'm gonna give you the X factors for both teams. The X factor, Jewell Loyd. I am pleading with you. It doesn't even matter who I'm going for. I want my dog to win a championship for sure. But Jewell Loyd has to show up. All right, I knew that she was gonna show up in big moments tonight, and she did. She hit 2 threes. 1 3 came at a crucial point in the game. In the overtime, I believe, either overtime or fourth quarter. I can't remember. And then you have either her or Liz. Either one of them are going to have to be the X factor. And I think the difference between the series is going to be the bigs on Aces. If A'ja and Liz can keep Satu, Alyssa Thomas off the boards, I think that they're going to have the upper hand in that battle. And in that series. On the other hand, I think if Satu's the X factor to me. Satu, Satu is another player who could be kind of inconsistent at times. All right? That might be regular season. Like I said, players are different in the off season. And in the off season, if you see that dog in the off season, you like, hell yeah, because that's when it counts the most. So Satu has been impressing me all off season, right? Or not all off season, but this last series. So if she brings the game that she's played with, and I mean you're at the finish line right now. You fourth quarter. You last series. If she brings the same energy, right, and knocks down shots, Phoenix can win this series. I'm thinking matchups. Honestly, we got A.T., Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young. Honestly, matchups, Aces to me has the upper hand on the matchups. And we talk about, U.S. gold Olympians, and we talk about all-stars. They both got all-stars and a gold medalist on their teams. All right? So the experience is there. The skill level is there. It's just what Aces team is going to show up. I don't think you have to worry about what Phoenix team is going to show up. They're going to play hard. That's how they got here. They play hard. They play together. They play for each other. And, they make the right plays. They make the extra passes. They make the shots when they matter. They play with that grit. They play with physicality. And a lot of people could say they play dirty, and I'm not going to say that they don't. right? Some questionable stuff going on in the WNBA, and we're going to get right to that. But the Aces ain't no punks either. Now, when we talk about Minnesota, my gripe with Minnesota is y'all play like some marks. Everybody. All right? Courtney talking about the fans, but I'm talking about the players. I'm watching the Minnesota team, you got girls knocking down shots, and I wasn't seeing that. Right? The most consistent players on the team during the playoffs was Courtney, or in that last series at least, Courtney, PHEE. But in the moments where it mattered, I wasn't seeing PHEE. In the moments where it mattered in the fourth quarter, and you could go to the fourth quarter box scores, because that was my thing. If they're not up by 15, I said last game, if they're not up by 15 in the third quarter, the game is over. Because fourth quarter, they do nothing. They're iced out. PHEE not doing much. She's standing around. Courtney want to shoot jumpers the whole time. I seen Courtney go up, get downhill. Literally, nobody in the paint. I mean, when I say this is the paint, over here is help side. Not even squeezing the floor. All right? Not rotating. Because Courtney quit. You look, and all of a sudden she's downhill. She shot a jumper at the block. Just right outside the block. I ain't never seen that before. She made it. That's a tough ass shot. I've never seen it before. But my thing is, when it's time to get downhill and get a lay, I want to see a lay. Because we're practicing, that's a bad habit to me. Like sometimes to me, when I say Skylar Diggins over penetrates when she has that midi jumper, that 13-footer, 12-footer, right? But I'm seeing Courtney shoot a 5-foot jump shot. I mean, I've never seen that before. So to me, Minnesota, when it mattered, they didn't want it. Nobody wanted it. All right? And the role players or the supporting cast or whatever, like, what in the world was happening? What was going on? They was getting punked out there, period. Punked. All right? And then, like I said, I'm a critique PHEE, but it's not really like a major critique. PHEE is very versatile. I love her game. I love her soul. But if PHEE gets stronger, if PHEE gets that Asia Wilson physique, right, where she cannot be moved, PHEE will be the MVP of the league. Right? Her thing to me is she's not bop. She can't bang like that. And it frustrates me. But if she gets that weight on her, that strength, that muscle on her, she might not have that muscular physique, but if she gets stronger, she's solid. She's MVP of the WNBA. Moving on. And I can move on, I guess, right into the critique of the WNBA.
Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines.
Right? PHEE, thank you for speaking on the fuckery that's going on in the league. Because this is something I've been talking about for, the whole playoffs. What are the refs, not even just the playoffs, the whole season, what are the refs doing? And the people are like, well, they want, they're trying to make the league more physical. The league has always been physical. Shut up. If you are saying that, if you are bringing that narrative to the table, then you're new to the game. Go back, watch Diana Taurasi play. Candace Parker. Cheryl Swoops, whoever. Women's basketball has always been very physical. Period. Gritty, talking, all of that. This is not new. The drama's not new. None of this is new. It's new to you. Right? The problem is right now is that the refs are very freaking inconsistent and they suck. And they're not being reprimanded or penalized for their inconsistencies. And I'm the one, you go back and probably watch one of my mentorship episodes. I'm not one to blame the refs or talk about the refs. But the refs are honestly terrible. Terrible. And it has to be talked about. And players, like PHEE said, and I've said this too, players, coaches, players and coaches cannot be penalized and fined, and you see a coach get suspended in game 5? Seriously? And she said some stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But like, at what point does the league step in and hold the refs accountable? Because, and you could, that's nothing that's gonna be done publicly, but I'm not even seeing a change. Which means that it doesn't seem like it's being done at all. And that's where the problem lies, right? Protect your assets, right? This is your product. Nobody wants to see a shitty-ass product on the floor. And the product, the refs are part of the product too. And if the refs are shitty, then everything else is going to be shitty. Right? Then you hear stuff like when PHEE is talking about what Cathy said about Caitlin Clark. And, this is your product, right? This is the person who's supposed to be the face of the league. Everybody, everybody was Caitlin Clark, face of the league, right? Bullshit. But great player. But how many games did she play this season? Due to injury. And a lot of that for Caitlin Clark, let's be honest. Caitlin Clark is a flopper. And she needs to get stronger. And she needs to work on different skill sets, right? I think that, to me, all of that flopping that you do causes injuries. All right, I say that about any player. I tell my players, stop all that flopping because you're going to hurt yourself. You damn near running into the wall. Flopping. You can sell a foul without flopping. And if you don't, you don't. Get stronger. I don't see Jackie Young doing all of this and because she like that. Move. That's what y'all need to, those are the physiques that y'all need to look at. That's what y'all need to look at, right? Or expand your game, all right? And that's not just Caitlin Clark. You get like Caitlin Clark, all hell Caitlin Clark. I'm like, please. So yeah, you have to protect your product. So for that lady, Cathy, who to me needs to resign because, she said something years ago that I don't like. I don't remember. It rubbed me the wrong way. A minute ago that rubbed me the wrong way. But particularly after I just knew I was done. Is when she basically invited racism to sell tickets. I was through. I was through with that. As long as, I don't know what she said, but she implied that if racism is selling tickets, well, I don't, and we'll bring it on. And you're not affected by that. You have a league full of copper-colored Aboriginal women, and you're saying, yeah, go harass Asia Wilson's teammates' bus, even though Angel Reese is not on that bus. Go harass her teammates, and even if she was on that bus, why would you be doing that? Then you got Alyssa Thomas saying Indiana is some of the most racist fans, and then my friends like I've been to Indiana's plenty of black people. That doesn't matter. We're not talking about Indiana the city. We are talking about who was supporting the league, and it's a bunch of crazy people, cult members, right? And I'm starting to have a problem. To be honest with you. I'm sorry. I need a moment because I'm disgusted. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, as a a lot of people that are going to watch this are just like the Malaysia stuff y'all was so mad about. I played basketball. I've been in this basketball scene since I was 7 years old. I am grown as hell. Right? Had some unfortunate circumstances in my own career. But one thing I've always been was authentic. The only thing that you should be if you can't be nothing, you should be yourself. And you should stand for the people that stand next to you every day. Who's out there with blood, sweat, and tears with you and for you every day. And understanding the powers that be that are controlling the situation and the circumstances. You don't have to have their backs. You need to have the people that's with you's backs. Just like what's going on in the world today. It's too much division within the civilians, right? Just like the players are the civilians. And the front office is the government. It's too much division down here. I'm not going to add on that division down here. Right? So, anyways, moving forward. Because it's getting long-winded. PHEE put her neck out there today. And people like Cathy said, Caitlin should be on her knees thanking me for the 16 million. The players should be on their knees. No. Players should be on their knees thanking PHEE for putting her fucking career on the line. Right? Because if that had been anybody else, blackball. But one thing, people be like, she shouldn't have said that because she has unrivaled. No, that's why she should have said that. Because she does have unrivaled. Because she has paved the way. Has created a league for us, by us. And in the first year, was paying the players more than they make in the WNBA. And in the second year, bringing in over 100 million more in investors and sponsors, etc. So you telling me, and I've been saying this, right? I've been saying, well, they gotta recoup on their money, right? But you keep throwing these numbers out here. Recouping on your money doesn't mean that you don't pay the players, because this is your league. So if you're taking a loss, this ain't got shit to do with the players. This shit got to do with you and your marketing and your investments, etc. You telling me a league like Unrivaled in their second year brought in $100 million more, playing their players, even when they're hurt. In your league, Cathy don't give a fuck. Elena Deladon, which is a Hall of Famer basketball legend, has she not have to go through her medical situation? Hasn't her, she don't even think that you know that she retired. What type of commissioner is that? That's not for the players. Commissioner should be for the players. You should be befriending the players, making sure the players are good, because that's your product out there. Right? I have a problem with that. You're not for the people, you're for yourself. And then when I look up your salary, I can't find your salary online. But I've heard through the grapevine that you probably make more than the players. I'm not sure, but I don't think Adam Silver, whatever, makes more than the players. You talking about somebody that's putting their bodies on the line, their livelihoods on the line, day in and day out. And the least you can do if you making more money is have their backs, but you don't. And this is why I have a problem with no comment. Right? But back to why PHEE should be the person that speaks on this. PHEE should be the person that speaks on this because, right, like I said, not any other player. I'm not saying that anybody can be blackballed, but anybody could be blackballed. It don't matter who you are. And we've seen it. Right? They try to blackball Kyrie for posting a link. Right? So, PHEE, who has her own league, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. Right? Obviously, she has partners, right? But I'm sure PHEE is set for life. I'm sure she's going to be set for life. So if anybody should be speaking on this, it's the person who doesn't have to worry about, I'm only making $100,000 here. I'm only making $80,000. I'm only making $60,000. I'm only making $45,000 a season in the WNBA. I cannot speak like PHEE can speak because I ain't got it like that. Because after I play here, I got to go over to France or Russia or China. Right? No. PHEE's an owner. See, when you're an owner, you can say certain things.
We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
All right? You can move a certain way. And I know this because I am an owner. Am I making all the funds? No, but I do say what I feel and what I want to say. Because somebody should be speaking for the people. Somebody should be saying the things and not being scared to have free speech and tell the truth without penalty. When the truth is nothing but a matter of helping others help themselves.
Like anything with free speech is fine now, so.
5 minutes before you walked in here, the WNBA sent another press release announcing more money, more TV rights deals that they just secured. Do you think it's a little premature to announce all the money they're making when they haven't come to a deal with the people that play the game on the floor on their behalf?
I mean, it's something that they continue to do. And, but in the same breath, they cry that they don't have enough money to pay the players, that they don't have the sustainability to pay the players when they're selling teams for $300 million, when valuations are going up to almost $500 million. Like, it doesn't make sense to us. It's why we're fighting so hard in our CBA and what we're going to continue to fight for.
So the league needs to do better. And if the leadership in the league can't do better, then people need to start stepping down. I'm tired of it. We're tired of it as fans. And the thing is, like I said, I'm basketball personnel. I'm even putting myself on the line right now. The only thing is I can coach kids for the rest of my life and be cool with that. But because I guarantee you them kids gonna make it. Some of them gonna make it all the way. Some of them gonna make it overseas. Some of them gonna get hundreds and thousands of dollars in NILs. And I'm okay with that, right? As long as I get to speak my truth. One thing about me is I don't like bondage. I don't like anything that feels like bondage. So I feel like people should be able to speak and tell the truth without being blackballed and blacklisted and canceled and all of that bull. When what they're saying is not inciting any violence against anybody, it's not slanderous, right? It's all truth. And the people that are being called out should be accountable. That's the problem. People don't want to be accountable for how they treat others in the destruction that they're causing within their own environments, right? So I stand with the players. As like I said, as a player, as a person that's just not a spectator, just a fan who's always had dreams of playing basketball, not played basketball. I come from a basketball bloodline. So all I want to do is see the game grow. And the game can only grow if everybody is involved, is accountable, and is for each other. And like I said, if they're not, then they need to get on. Go find somewhere else to be, right? Go play in somebody else's face. But I'm here today because I wanted to talk about a little bit about the playoffs. But I also wanted to support PHEE. Because although she has her own league and, whatever, the WNBA has been a girl's dream. A WNBA is every girl's dream. Just like the NBA is every boy's dream that plays the game. Alright? So playing in the WNBA is like, nobody just wants to wake up one day and say, I don't want to play in the WNBA anymore, I'm just going to just sabotage myself. No. She's standing up for her teammates. She's standing up for her peers. She's standing up for every woman in the league. When we're on the floor, we're battling against each other. And when we're off the floor, kumbaya for the most part. So she needs to be supported. And I've seen everybody. I've seen nothing but support for her. I've seen a couple, knuckleheaded comments. But for the most part, I've seen a lot of support for her. And we have to continue to support. We got to continue to support the WNBA because we're here to watch the girls, the women, all right? That's all it's about, is supporting those women. Forget all the front, whatever, who think that they doing all the work, all right? Who think that we there because of them. No, we're not there because of you. We're there because of these players, all right? $300 million new teams, but they ain't got no money for the players. The money better be coming in for somewhere. And the thing is, what's telling me is negotiations, y'all ain't even talking about no money. In 5 years, in 3 years. It don't sound like that's what's even going on in the CBA meetings. It sounds like you giving these women the runaround. So if you're ready for the lockout, all I gotta say is Angel Reese, I'm taking all of the people who I want to see them work on their jump shot. Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, who else I was looking at that I wanted to work on their jumper. It was a few other players. If you need to work on your jumper, holla at your girl. I mean, we can work on whatever, but the jumper, I'm gonna get your mechanics all the way right. Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed her money back. As far as culture way, you better ask somebody. Anyways, I love all the ladies of the WNBA. I love y'all. Alright. I'll be excited to see who wins this championship. Like I said, I want my old teammate actually who's playing to coaching to get her a ship. So All right, y'all, I'm out.